recording this computer. All right. Pirki Avot. Pirki Avot are sayings by the rabbis, great rabbis. Which rabbis? Beginning from Moses. And it's very important, very, very important, of utmost importance. God took the Jews out of Egypt. One second. I gotta record. Yes. God took the Jews out of Egypt. And 50 days later, he gave them the Torah. He gave them the Torah. What did he give them after 50 days? The 10 Commandments. They heard the 10 Commandments. Then Moses went up on Mount Sinai, and God taught him the meaning of all the rest of the Torah, including the 10 Commandments. The meaning. Because the Torah at face value is totally meaningless. It's totally, meaningless. You can make whatever you want to out of it. It's just a big jumble of words. You wouldn't even be able to know what even the alphabet is, right? How you could read a word. Who knows what aleph is? Who knows what base is? These are things that have been passed down by the rabbis from Moses. It's very, very important to believe in the rabbis. And anyone in the course of Judaism, and there's been a lot of them, unfortunately, that have wanted to destroy Judaism, they've always struck at the rabbis first. To the point that some people say, oh, we believe every word of the Bible, but we make our own interpretation. We don't believe in this. Who is this Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Yochanan? Who are these people? Rabbeinu HaKodesh. I believe in myself. Right? You can believe in myself. What's this? Rab Hillel and Shammai. What about them? Rabbi George and Rabbi Sheldon. Who knows what? Everybody makes up their own interpretation. As soon as you get that, then there's no more Torah. There's no more Judaism. There's no more Judaism. There's no definition of what a Jew is. No definition of what marriage is. No definition of anything. Nothing is forbidden. Nothing is forbidden. Nothing is, right? Everything is permissible. You can do whatever you want to. You can explain anything you want from the Torah. Don't kill. 10 Commandments, don't kill. Maybe it means don't kill time. Maybe it means, don't kill bacteria. Maybe it's forbidden to take antibiotics. It doesn't say what not to kill. It says lo tirtzach. But what does it mean? Honor your mother and your father. Honor them one time. That's all. What does it mean? Keep the Sabbath day. Sabbath day, by the way, interesting. It's only for the Jews. Sabbath. Who would know that? How can you know that? Which of the 10 commandments? Which commandment? What does it mean? Nothing means anything. So the essence of Judaism, and it's one of the commandments in the Torah. You must believe in the rabbis. Who is a rabbi? Has to be a person that has two traits. The main one is be God-fearing. To fear God. To fear doing the wrong thing. That's what a rabbi is. He's afraid of doing the wrong thing. In addition, he also has to be a genius. He has to know the whole entire Torah, all of the laws. He has to be the laws. But you can know the laws and you won't do them, right? That fearing of God means that you want to do them. You want to do whatever God says, and you're afraid to go against God. You're afraid to make up your own ideas. Okay, so this now is the passing down of the Torah from Moses down. Okay, that's only where it begins. Now the good part comes that each and every one of these rabbis, we're going to learn later on, they also have lessons in life to impart to us. Lessons in life. So don't think that maybe the Torah we have is totally different. Maybe the Jews lost it. Maybe this, right? It's not so. The Torah has been given down from Moses to God-fearing people. It never has stopped. It's an unbroken chain of teaching from Moses, God-fearing people, that no one was willing to do anything unless they received it from their teachers from before them. And like I said, there were always breakaway groups right from the beginning. There was Korach. There was the people that went against Moses, right? They worshiped the golden calf. All the time there were breakaway groups to the whole history of Judaism that tried to destroy the rabbis. That was the main thing. They're going against the rabbis. Some of them went against the whole Torah. They said the whole Torah doesn't. Okay, but here we go. Rabbis. And now we're going to learn the interesting teachings of life from these rabbis. Ready? Moses received the Torah from Mount Sinai. He gave it to his pupil, Joshua. Joshua gave it to the Zikanim. Who were the Zikanim? When the Jews came into the land of Israel, until the first temple was built, was 440 years. 440 years. In the beginning, Yoshua ruled over, and then what were called the judges, the Shoftim. And there were also others, Atniel ben Kanaz, others. That was about the first four until King Solomon built the first temple. Those were called the Zikanim. Then the Zikanim, they gave it over to the prophets. Shmuel Hanavi was a prophet. And he was right before the temple was built. In the time of the first temple, in the time of King David. King Solomon, of course, he built the temple. Then there was the prophets. The prophets lasted the whole 410 years of the first temple. They gave it over to the Anshe Knesset Gedolah. Anshe Knesset Gedolah, those were men in the second temple. Second temple, until around the middle of the second temple. We'll see. That came up to Shimon HaTzadik. He was the last people of the Anshe Knesset Gedolah. Who are the people of the Anshe Knesset Gedolah? Those are the people who came back from Babylon to build the second temple. That was like Daniel, Ezra, Nehemiah, Mordechai, like in the story of Megillah, of Esther, Mordechai, Mishael, Hananiah, Azariah, Daniel's three friends that got thrown into the fiery furnace, and others. Some people say there was 120 of them, some people say there was 80. They said, okay, these Anshe Knesset Gedolah, they said three things. What do they say? Be calm. Be, how do you say, matun. There's a word, matun. What's matun mean? Be very exact and calm, methodical. When you judge, when cases come in front of you, you should have to be very, very calm and methodical in judging people. Don't jump to conclusions. Listen to all the sides of the argument. Don't say, because this is the way that the previous judge, they judged, I'm going to judge the same way. Listen to judge each and every case in a calm way, in an orderly way. And hamidu talmidim harba. That's number one. Be very calm when you're judging, making judgments. Right? Be very logical. Take everything into account. Stand up a lot of pupils. Right? Have a lot of pupils. Don't keep the Torah just to yourself. Go around and find people to teach the Torah to. It's very essential that the Torah not be forgotten. And asu sayeg laTorah, and make fences around the Torah. What does it mean, fences around the Torah? You have to try to assure that people realize the severity of the Torah and the importance of the Torah and the awesomeness of the laws of the Torah. As generations got further and further from Mount Sinai, they became less and less sensitive to the godliness that was revealed in the Torah. That's what it says. Mashiach is going to come and he's going to make a new Torah. What does it mean, new? Then no law will be changed. It'll be the exact same, but people will feel the godliness in the laws. They'll feel the godliness of the positive commandments. They feel the awe of all the negative commandments. That's what it means. Therefore, but until then, they had to make laws that made a fence around the Torah. And from this came all of the laws of the rabbis. Right, Elia Cohen Shmuel. Anshe Knesset Gedolah, here he says who they were. He's repeating basically the things that I just told you. Make a lot of people, it says, okay, let's do the last part. It says, make a lot of pupils. This is to exclude the opinion of Rabban Gamliel. That Rabban Gamliel said, I'm only going to take pupils who their insides are like their outside. In other words, a person that's just very intelligent and he doesn't have enough fear of God, right? I'm not going to take him. Or a person that does have fear of God, if he's not intelligent, who needs him? It says, Rabbi, he was very, very, how do you say, picky, Rabbi Gamliel. He says, no, don't do that. You should teach Torah to everybody. You don't have to check who he is. But it has to be, you just have to know that he's not, how do you say, a big egotist. Visani Shmua, and that he hates the rabbis. Right? If you know for sure that the pupil hates the rabbis, then keep away from him. That was the big problem with Christianity. It was he was, what's his name? It was a big. He was very wise, but he hated the rabbis. He came and hated the rabbis. That's what it says. That he's now the burning in hell. Okay, boiling. The Asur Saig Torah. It says, and make a fence around the Torah. You have to make a fence so that people will not come to touch forbidden things. Like, for instance, there's laws, Shniut la-rayot, Shavut la-Shabbat, laws of Muktzah on Shabbat, a lot of things on Shabbat which are forbidden because the rabbi said that they were forbidden. A lot of people, it's forbidden to marry because the rabbi said it was forbidden in order to keep you away from the main people. Okay, this is the Bar Tanura, explanation of the Bar Tanura. That's the first. Let's do the second. Shimon HaTzadik. Shimon HaTzadik was the last one of the Knesset Gedolah. Shimon HaTzadik was the last one of the Knesset Gedolah. He was the Kohen Gadol after Ezra. Ezra Sofer, he was the Kohen Gadol. So this lasted about in the middle of the Second Temple, about 200 something years. And he said up to Shimon HaTzadik, and he said 3 things the world stands on. There are 3 things that the world stands on, right? Science says that the world stands on energy and mass and who knows whatever. This religious people say the world stands on spirit, on the word of God. He said, you want to know what the world really stands on? Right? The world stands on the Torah. It stands on avoda, prayer, learning Torah, prayer, devotion to the Creator, and gamilat chasadim, and bringing blessing into the world, helping other people. Also doing the commandments, that brings blessing into the world. Shimon HaTzadik said he was the last of the Anshe Knesset Gedolah. And now we're going to get into the Tanaim, the people, Hillel and Shammai. We'll talk about that. And the Shmaya Battalion. We'll learn with these people. That'll be tomorrow, God willing. The world stands on 3 things. People learning Torah, people having the proper attitude to God, praying to God, and arousing your heart, and on Gemilat Chasadim, and having love of your fellow man. We'll talk about this more, God willing, tomorrow. Have a good day with Mashiach now. 8:15 tomorrow. Hope to see everybody. We're learning Chassidus. And Chodesh Tov to everybody. Chodesh Tov. Have a good month. This is the month of Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and Rachel. ER. Also the first letters Ani, Aleph, Hashem, Yud Yud, Rofech. I am God that heals you. This is the month of healing, the month of attachment to the Creator of the universe, and a month of happiness. Every day we do a commandment. Sfirat Omer. No month of the year is like this. Every day is holy. Every day is counted and important. Have a good day. See you tomorrow morning at 8:15. Shalom.